In this video, we will learn about classification models and how to evaluate the classification models that we have built. We have already learned about how to import data. We have seen how to pre-process the data and how to extract features from the data. So whatever features that we are extracting from the data, we are going to use that to build the classification model. So we will see that in detail in this video. So before that, when we are building a classification model, say for example, when we have got some data which has got like say two classes of data, we can build the classification model in different ways. One way is by simply partitioning the data by using a simple model as shown here by this straight line. So this is the most simple possible model that you can see. It classifies the two groups of data, that is the circles and the stars. And of course there are some errors in the model that is developed, but it is a fairly simple model that you can develop. Or there is another model that you can go for, that is a highly complicated model that does a perfect classification of data, okay, as you can see here in this second diagram. So this is a complicated model that will give you a perfect classification of data. So there are like this, there are different ways in which you can develop classification models. But then how do we decide which model is a good model and which model is a bad model? So for doing that, we need to test the model with new data. So we train it with a set of data called as training data, and then we test the model using some new data which is not part of the training data. So the results of this new data will tell us how good is the model that we have developed. So we will see the details, okay, that will just tell us whether the model that we have developed is not enough, or it is just the perfect model that we have developed, or have we done an overfitting of the model. Okay, we will see what we mean by overfitting. So as I told, whenever we are going to develop any classification model, we need two sets of data. One set of data for training the model and another set of data for testing the model. Now this test data we obtain by randomly selecting a few samples from the training data, okay, and that is kept separately for testing the model. So then we train the data model using this training data. We develop the model and then we test it for the test data to see the performance of the model. Now any good model, okay, it is essential that it should perform well for training data as well as testing data. If a particular model performs well for the training data, as in this first case you can see, but it does not perform well for the testing data, that means we have overfitted the model. Means the model has learned just to classify the training data, but it cannot generalize, okay. So with that model is said to be an overfitted model, and that is not a good model. So any good model should be able to give us a good performance for the training data set as well as for the testing data set. Now in the two models that we have developed, as I had shown, if we check the accuracy that we obtain, this simple model that we have developed, it gives an accuracy of 86% for the training data, and it gives an accuracy of 70% for the testing data. Whereas this complicated model that we have developed, it gives us 100% accuracy for the training data, but the accuracy for the testing data is 60%. Okay, so as we can see here, even though the training data is gives us 100% accuracy, still when we feed a new data set to that model, the performance of the model is not as good as this simple model that we have developed. The reason is the model is overfit, okay, means the model has learned to classify the training data only. It doesn't, it is not able to generalize or apply the same to a new set of data. So this is called as overfitting, and this should be avoided. So we will see here in this particular lecture how to develop a model, and then how to evaluate the model. And then when we see the evaluation parameters, the performance parameters, how to analyze that and understand how the model is working. Okay, so that is what we will be continuing with this in the video. So before that, yeah, there are different classification models that we can develop. We have got different models like support vector machine, KNN, name base, then we have got discriminant analysis, decision trees. All these are different classification models that can be developed, and each of this will give different performances. So depending on our requirement of no accuracy, simplicity, and okay, no other parameters, we can decide which classification model we want to use. So as in our case, we have gone for this K nearest neighbor classification model. So we will see yeah, how to develop this particular model. We have already seen. We will continue with okay, the KNN model here. So before that, we have got no this training data in the mat file, letter data. Okay, that is the mat file which has got the training data and the testing data. So when we load that letter data.mat, we can see this train data in the workspace. It has got 26 features. Okay, in the previous recording, we saw that we saw how to extract the features, and we had extracted 6 features. So similar procedure has been followed to extract no 26 features. Yeah, 25 features. One extra column is the response column or the output column. Okay, so these 25 features include the statistical measures like the median. You have got the MAD. Then we have got okay, other things like dx by dt, dy by dt, the maximum value of dx by dt, maximum value of dy by dt. Then we have got the average slope. Then we have got correlation. Okay, then apart from that, few more features are also there here, like velocity, the pressure of the pen, etc. Okay, so we have got total 26 features that we are 25 features that we are going to use for developing this model. And there are 2906 data sets. Okay, means we have extracted the data for 2906 samples of individual letters. Okay, so we will see how we are developing the model. So first thing, okay, we will just see how to visualize the model. Okay, visualize the data. There are different okay plots that you can obtain to visualize the data. One such plot is this histogram plot, okay, that you can see here. So to obtain a histogram plot, we use the MATLAB function histogram, okay, followed by this response variable. So this just tells you in the data, okay, out of the 2906 sets of data, how many data sets are for character A, how many, okay, the count for character B, C, D, etc. Okay, so that is what the histogram plots tells us. Okay, you can see that plot here. Similarly, we can also obtain a plot known as box plot. Okay, so what this plot tells you is, okay, it gives you many information. Okay, with the information that you can obtain from a box plot are for any given data. Okay, it tells you what is the maximum value, it tells you what is the minimum value, okay, of that particular data. It tells you what is the median, it tells you what is the 25% quartile value and what is the 75% quartile value, that is represented by the box. Okay, the edges of the box, the top and the bottom edge of the box. This in between red line that you see is the median value. Then you have got the maximum value and the minimum value. Okay, so for every data set it displays that. Okay, so here we have the box plot that is shown here in this figure is for the training data, the feature MADX, that is the spread of the data. Okay, the x-axis position, the spread of the data that we have seen how to extract this particular data in the previous video. Okay, so it indicates the spread, okay, of the x-axis position of pen versus training data character. Okay, so this x-axis is the training data character. So for every character, okay, for example, for this character A, what is the MAD value for what is the maximum value of MAD, what is the minimum value, what is the median, and what are the quartile values. Okay, so that is the data that you can obtain from this box plot. Now to make predictions with the classification model, first you need to develop this particular model. So to develop the model, first we will load the training data that is there in this letter data.mat. Then we will develop this KNN model using the MATLAB function fitc KNN. Okay, so here we mention what is the training data. So where is the what is the table name where where the training data is stored, and what is the response variable, and what are the number of neighbors. Okay, means what is the value of k that we want. Okay, we have chosen this as 5, and then there are some additional parameters which tells us what is the kind of distance measure that you want to use, what is the kind of weights that you want to include. Okay, so there are some additional parameters also that we are giving here for fitting this KNN model. Now once you develop this model, next we need to test this model. Okay, for that we have got this test data. Okay, so this test data is also available in this letter data.mat. So to test the model, we use the function predict. So the input for this function predict is the KNN model that we have developed and the test data, and the predictions made by the model is stored in the variable name predict letter. Okay, PRED letter. Okay, that is the variable name that we have used. So next we calculate what is the misclassification rate. Okay, we have already seen how to calculate this misclassification rate. It is defined as the number of wrong responses divided by the total number of predictions made. Okay, so we can calculate what is the misclassification rate, or there is one more performance parameter that you can measure, that is the loss of the model. Okay, that tells us it is a little bit better measure than the misclassification. Of course, it also gives a gives us an idea about the misclassification, but it incorporates the probability of each cause. Okay, so each class. So to calculate the loss, we use the MATLAB function loss with the inputs KNN model and test data. Okay, so when you run this code, you will be able to see what is the misclassification rate and what is the loss of the model. Next, okay, when we have to go no further, when we want to investigate the misclassifications. Okay, so what gives us more details about the misclassifications, or how the classification is made, is the confusion matrix. Okay, so just to understand this confusion matrix has got 4 parameters. Okay, it is plotted as the predicted class versus actual class. Okay, the x-axis you can see the predicted class, the y-axis is the actual class. Okay, and there are 4 categories under which the classification is grouped. They are the true positive category, then we have got true negative category, then we have got false positive category and false negative category. Okay, so what I mean by these 4 categories is, a true positive category is one where a class X is predicted to be class X. Okay, but what is predicted to be class X is actually belonging to class X. Okay, then it is a true positive. True negative is a particular data which is not actually class X, but it is predicted which is not class X, and it is not predicted also as class X. Okay, means it is belonging to a different class, so it is not belonging to class X, and the model also does not predict it to be class X. Okay, so such a category is known as true negative. Then a false positive category is where a data point is not actually belonging to class X, but it has been wrongly predicted as class X. Okay, so that is a false positive result. Next, we have got another category where the data is actually belonging to class X, but it is predicted as not belonging to class X. Okay, belonging to some other no class. that kind of no classification, that kind of grouping is known as false negative result. Okay, so any classification when you try to represent using confusion matrix, we will have these four information. So we will see how to get this confusion chart. So this part also we have already seen in some previous video. So we use the MATLAB function confusion chart. The input for this confusion chart function is the test data character, that is the actual that is the desired output, then the actual output that is there in that predicted value, PRED letter. Okay, so those are the two inputs that goes to the confusion chart. Now in this case, if you look at the confusion chart, we have got 26 classes, because we are trying to identify all the 26 handwritten variables. Okay, so it will be a 26 cross 26 matrix. Okay, and the diagonal elements will tell us the true positive cases. Okay, the number of true positive cases means the number of cases where the alphabets have been identified correctly, and the off diagonal elements will tell us the other details. Okay, now because this is a huge matrix, it would be more useful for us if we get this confusion matrix along with the row summary. Okay, so to get the row summary, we need to include some more additional parameters in this confusion chart function, where we ask for it to display this normalized row summary. So you can see here there are two columns which get introduced here, which will display the row summary for us. Okay, so we will see for this particular case of classification of alphabets how this confusion matrix has been displayed. Okay, so you can see this is not the complete confusion matrix, this is just a part of the confusion matrix. Okay, because it is a big matrix. Okay, you cannot show the complete one. So what we will try to identify here is the row summary. Okay, you can see here on this end, okay, we have got the row summary which tells us the false negative rate for each class. Okay, so that will help us to identify which particular alphabet the KNN model is finding difficult, is finding it difficult to classify, okay, or identify. So we will be able to find out what is the difficulty of the KNN model. Okay, so if you look at this particular row summary, what we observe is the letter U is the most misclassified alphabet, okay, by this KNN model, and mostly it has been misclassified as either M or N or V. Okay, you can see these numbers here. Okay, 3 of the U's have been misclassified as M, 4 have been misclassified as N. Okay, and then 5 of the U's have been misclassified as V. Okay, so that is the detail that we obtain from this confusion matrix. So now we will try to do a little bit of more investigating on this misclassification to just understand why the KNN model is misclassifying the data. Okay, what makes the KNN model to misclassify the alphabet U. So for that, what we will do is we will try to find out the index of the data which is misclassified. Okay, we will see the test data. Okay, we will collect the values for which the test data character is equal to U, but the predicted letter is not equal to U. Okay, means actually the alphabet is an U, but the prediction is something else. Okay, it is not U. Okay, that is the that will give us a list of indices where the letter U has been misclassified. Okay, and that I am storing it in the variable name false negative. So once we obtain this particular false negative, we will use this false negative, the data in that variable false negative, to identify the test files for which there is misclassification. Okay, we will ask the program to list out the names of the files where the classification has been done improperly. Okay, so you can see that that is listed here. So how we do that is there is a function that we are using, test files with the index false negative, okay, because those are the values for which the data u has been misclassified. Okay, so that I'm storing it in the variable fn files, and when you display that fn files, you can see here the files which have been misclassified is listed. Okay, you can see this user 4u first sample, okay, and then you have got user 41, okay, the second sample. Okay, so like that, this just gives us a list of the u alphabet files which have been misclassified. So then we also get another, okay, data. What is the prediction made by the model regarding this data? Okay, what the model predicts this particular data to be. Okay, so that I am storing it in the variable name fn pred. Okay, so this I am directly getting it from the predictions that I have made from the knn model that is there in our variable name pred letter. Okay, that is the predicted value. Okay, so what is the predicted value corresponding to this false negative results if I make? So you can see here, okay, these are the predicted values. Some u's have been identified as w, m, k, then we have got n, v, n. Okay, so these are the wrongly classified values that the model gives us. Now we will try to, okay, go into, okay, little bit more of detail. We will consider this fourth element, okay, in this misclassification, the fourth element where u has been wrongly identified as n. Okay, because that is the most, okay, common, one of the most common misclassifications that has been made, identifying u as n. Okay, so we will try to do a little bit more of, okay, detailed study there. So now we will take the data from that particular file, okay, the fourth file. So to get the fourth file, I have the variable name fn files. So I will use the index 4 to get the, to read the data from that fourth file. So I will use the function read table, and that table I am storing it in the variable name bad u. Okay, because that has been wrongly misclassified as u. Okay, then I'm making a plot of the x position versus y position of that bad u table. Okay, so what you can see here is, this is the alphabet, okay, of the this is the handwritten alphabet u, which has been wrongly classified as n. Okay, so you can see here, okay, this particular alphabet does not look like so you can see here the shape of this letter, okay, is is what is causing the misclassification. Okay, because it doesn't look exactly like the alphabet u. So yeah, this is one reason for this alphabet being identified as n instead of u. Okay, so we will see yeah, further things, okay, of what happens to the feature that is extracted from this particular file, and know what causes the misclassification like that. So to do that, okay, what we will do is, we will extract the training data for the letters n and u. Okay, from the training data set, okay, that we have got, we will obtain the list of training data only for the alphabets n and u. Okay, and that I am storing it in the variable u or n. Okay, this is okay by just using a simple logical comparison, where train data dot character is equal to n, or train data dot character is equal to u. Okay, and then I am obtaining that particular data, and I am storing it in the variable u or n. Okay, similarly, I extract some data from the test data where the letter u was misclassified. Okay, so wherever we got false negative results for u. So for that, again I do a simple, okay, logical no comparison. I say where test data dot character is equal to u, and okay, the predicted letter is not equal to u. Okay, means it is not predicted as u, and that I am storing it, okay, in idx, and then I am retrieving, extracting the data from the test data which are falsely classified, and I am assigning it to the variable fnu. Now after doing that, okay, there is one more additional step that I am doing. I am removing the unused categories from u or n dot character. Okay, that is because, okay, it has got all possible categories, okay, that will be there in this urn dot character. So I am removing the no unused categories by using this function remove categories. Okay, removes cats. Okay, that is the function that I'm using. Now after that, I'm going to extract the numerical features, okay, from the table URN and FNU. Okay, so when I'm extracting the numerical features, now if you know, remember the feature table, the last column is the response variable, okay, which shows the character, okay, and the previous, okay, the all the columns other than the last column is the numerical values of the feature. So I am extracting, okay, the all the data from UR1 except the last column. Okay, so I am, this is when I say URN colon 1 is to end minus 1. This means I am taking all the rows of URN but columns starting from 1 and till last but 1. Okay, so I am taking only the features from the URN table and the FNU table. Okay, so once I get to know these two data, I am going to plot this particular data to try and understand, okay, how that feature set plot looks like. Okay, so when I'm doing this particular plot, I'm using a different plot function. This is a parallel coordinates plot function. Okay, the function that we use is parallel coords. Okay, this plots the parallel, okay, coordination function. What I'm going to plot is the URN features. I am going to plot it grouped by the letter. Okay, means I'm going to do the grouping based on whether it is for the alphabet U or whether it is for the alphabet N. Okay, I'm going to plot the features corresponding to alphabet U and alphabet N. Okay, and then in the same plot, I am also going to plot the feature of the fourth, okay, file where the no alphabet U was misclassified as N. Okay, that is the no particular data set that we wanted to investigate. So that plot also I am making it in the same plot. Okay, so that plot you can see here, okay, in this particular no diagram. So here the no brown lines represent the no coordinate values for the data U. The blue lines represent the coordinate values for the data uh, N, and this black line that you see is the no fourth file data which was misclassified as N. Okay, which was supposed to be a U but it was misclassified as N. Now if we look at this particular plot, what we understand is the features that we have extracted for U and the features that we have extracted for N are almost identical. Okay, so that is the reason for this kind of misclassification that has happened. Okay, so that is what we understand from this particular misclassification. So this way you can investigate the misclassifications. Okay, why the model is misclassifying. Okay, what is the reason for the model to go wrong. Okay, what is the reason for the model to classify a particular alphabet as another alphabet. Okay, so this all this kind of investigations will help us to improve the model that we have developed. Okay, so how we basically improve the model is, okay, these are the basic steps, okay, that we have been using to using for the development of the model, this classification model. So here first we imported the data and then we pre-processed the data and then we have extracted the features, then we built the model, then we evaluated the model. Okay, this is where we got to know the performance of the model, and then we have tried to investigate to find out why the misclassification happened, and then accordingly we can go back and correct the features that we have extracted. Okay, we can modify the features that we have extracted, we can add new features, okay, according to the investigations that we have made, and then again we can build the model. Okay, and this part is an iterative part till the desired results are obtained. Okay, so once the desired results are obtained, we can use that model for our final use. Okay, so this gives the complete, okay, flow chart of know how to develop the model and how to improve the performance of the model by evaluating it and by no through a feedback process how to improve the particular model. Okay, so this brings us to the end of no classification. So yeah, further no we can continue with yeah, there are a lot of more things that you can do with MATLAB. We can also okay do the regression analysis, we can do okay this is an unsupervised learning, we can also, sorry, this is a supervised learning. We can also go for clustering, which is an unsupervised learning, or regression analysis, which is a supervised learning, and then we can go for reinforcement learning. Okay, there are different no machine learning algorithms, different no machine learning techniques that we can implement using MATLAB. And another okay extension or another subset of this particular machine learning is your deep learning. Okay, so that is what you will be continuing with in the subsequent lectures. Okay, so we will close with the development of classification models with this. Thank you.